I'm high enough. Way back when I was a 12-year-old schoolboy, I was an up-and-coming class clown. But one day, I found out there's a fine line between a class clown and a certified jackass. It all started one day when I was at school in the morning, and I saw this elderly English teacher. Her name was Mrs. Dorn. And Mrs. Dorn, she walked with this unusual limp, so that she would tip way over to one side and then pop straight back up again. Now, I saw Mrs. Dorn there, and I thought it would be funny to make fun of the way she walked. I figured it would bolster my class clown credentials. So I sneak in behind Mrs. Dorn to where she couldn't see me. And I sink in with her limp, and we both go walking down the hallway like that. Later that day, I had Mrs. Dorn for the last class of the day. And about a few minutes before the final bell was to ring, Mrs. Dorn says, "Eric, come up in front of the class and demonstrate how you were walking behind me in the hallway this morning." Apparently somebody had ratted on me. But I got defiant. I said, "It wasn't me." And about half the class says, "It was him." So much for the code of silence. So I felt like I had to do something, so I went up there. But I just took a couple little steps with barely a limp, just barely anything. Then this guy named Ernie, who I thought was my friend, he says he was limping a lot worse than that. Little Benedict Arnold there. So, Mrs. Dorn looked at me. She said, "Let's see it, Eric." But I stood my ground. I did not budge. Then the bell rings. Mrs. Dorn says, "I'm not dismissing anyone until Eric does this." Now everybody's glaring at me. I think they wanted to kill me. So, what could I do? I walked in a full-fledged limp across that floor, and Mrs. Dorn says, "Class dismissed, except Eric." Apparently, my nightmare was not over. Well, all the kids, they filed out of the room. After they left, Mrs. Dorn looks at me. She said, "Eric, I've noticed that you like to be a class clown." She said, "So how did it feel to get laughed at up there?" I said, "Not real good." Then she said, "Well, that's what I had to go through growing up. Every day the kids laughed at how I walked." And she said, "Next time you feel like making fun of somebody's disability, think about how you just got a little taste of what they go through every damn day." Well, after that day, I was not so funny anymore, but I was a little more human. There's a little more to the story. When I grew up, I became a federal investigator for the Labor Department. Part of my job was to enforce the rights of disabled workers. I went through a lot of training for that job. But the best education I ever got was the day Mrs. Dorn taught me the difference between a class clown and a certified jackass.